Hello, this is Alan Wheeler on my channel where I talk about spirituality and tarot. And today I want to use some tarot cards to explain or at least discuss why we disagree spiritually. And basically, want to talk about three levels of thought and how we kind of get those mixed up. And I think that's where a lot of our disagreements come from. Before I go further, let me introduce from my altar here, where I've got some incense burning, a candle from Mythology Candle Company. And this one is Wizard's Pipeweed that's going here. And I got some of these sample candles for Father's Day. And uh, instructions how to properly burn a candle, and some interesting smells based on fantasy stories and fairy tales. Interestingly, also on Father's Day, um, my children gave me a cup here that said "Best Dad." As I was drinking from it, I clicked to a video by Laura O'Brien uh, over at the Irish Pagan School, and she had a mug just as big and about the same size and color and everything and lettering, except it said F the patriarchy. So I had a good balance there on that morning last week. So let me begin by telling quickly a story of something that happened to me on Facebook. And I've been changing, expanding spiritually over the past 3, 4 years. And as I look back through my posts, I see that I've been expressing more and more my new ideas. But I felt impressed to really kind of come out of the closet um, recently and kind of break the mold, break from my old identity a little bit. And I did so in a few posts, and then my most recent post got some pushback that led me to this video. What I had posted was very short, almost a bumper sticker kind of pronouncement. I had said, I am one with Black Lives Matter. I am one with LGBTQ orientations. I am one with witches and pagans and all diverse beliefs. I am one with all women superheroes in the popular culture. And finally, I am one with the all that streams through a prism in diverse cultures, peoples, and beliefs. And I've had Facebook for a long time. I think there's about 500 people on there. Some of them are conservative Christians or just conservative politically. And so I got pushback for the first three of those. And some people were writing me very lengthy comments, quoting Bible verses and all kinds of things. So it led me to think about this polarization and why we can't agree, why we can't find common ground. And basically, I came to this idea that we kind of get our thinking mixed up, or at least have different assumptions that's even deeper than just the particular uh, religious or political belief. And that is, uh, on one level of thinking, we have actual facts, and they may not be empirical, provable facts, but they're things that 99% of people will agree, yeah, that's right. So it's more objective. Um, Two, we have subjective thinking. And those are things that 99% of people will agree, yeah, it's fiction. Um, it's not provable or supposed to be provable. But then the third level is the kind of liminal uh, thoughts, which is a mixture of the other two. Um, and so something like history, we all know there's different versions that get told. So facts get mixed up with story or legends, uh, myth, where real places and things get mixed up with supernatural or transcendent ideas. Getting some power outage here, I think. And of course, folklore and things like this. So I pulled some tarot cards to help delve into that. But I think when we take our stories and then treat them as objective truth that 99% of people agree with, this is where we get feelings of offense and where things can escalate to fighting um, rather than negotiating. So I pulled out three cards um, to represent kind of that objective level. And this is the structures, um, kind of the rationality, what we all would agree, um, for example, as justice. So certain certain morality, apart from situational ethics, again, that 99% of people would agree that um, some criminal activities are wrong, maybe murder, killing for no reason, and so on. Um, I pulled out the Emperor, again in the on the good side of this card, the light rather than the shadow side. These would be the structures and things that we objectively agree on: math and common sense, maybe most science, axioms that we agree. If A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. Those kind of philosophical um, truths on that level that pretty much we agree on. The sun, again, that bright daylit world of conscious thought that we all operate in, um, where there is common ground. Now, the second level, the subjective, usually we um, agree that what's fictional, what's made up, what's one person's dream, isn't a basis of reality for all people. So I pulled out the Moon card, and of course the Seven of Cups is a good depiction of that. All these different um, dreamlike images, some nightmarish perhaps. And this is that realm of beauty, art, poetry, music, feelings, and personal preferences. So we wouldn't imagine everyone will choose the same cup or require them to in the subjective realm. And the moon is that maybe that aspect as well of the imagination and that kind of freedom to imagine and dream and envision. That's part of being human and needed in life. And the third level, the liminal. And this is where things get mixed up a bit, because in areas like law or culture, um, folk traditions, we bring in both intuition, we take shortcuts, we use heuristics, and uh, there's a mixture of fact and fiction in a way. And so I use the card Temperance to show that mixing of the objective and the subjective, and the two of coins here, kind of juggling those two approaches, those two levels. And so I think it's important to recognize that in law, for example, we may agree on the objective level that addiction can indeed be dangerous. Addiction can have bad effects. But in law, we try to apply that, and some people say, okay, we need prohibition. No one needs to be drinking. And so we mix in personal preferences and approaches to uh, that more objective idea. And this is true in situational ethics and culture and religion and spiritual things. So while 99% of people may agree love is good, um, love is better than hate, um, and most religions would contain that assumption. But then we have applications. Um, and so we get things like women should wear head coverings, or um, where people disagree and apply differently. And so where consistency um, and exoteric spirituality, religion can be helpful when taken to level one, the one true way to be enforced on everyone. Of course, it becomes uh, more dangerous, more problematic. And so we, um, I guess my closing thought here is that um, I can't read my handwriting, but basically we need to learn to negotiate um, these things to see clearly and not escalate to the level of war and fighting, um, to learn to give room for preferences while looking for that common ground where most people are going to agree. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I hope you find connection with people in your life, with online community, and on your spiritual path, whatever that may be. Take care.